Paul George just lost $12 million and probably the rest of the Sixers season over probably nothing. And if what Paul says is true, it seems like the NBA's drug policy is pretty broken. So if you've been living under a rock today, Paul George was just suspended for 25 games for violating the league's anti-drug policy without pay. So it's going to cost him about $11.7 million. Now, after this was announced, Paul George comes out, releases a statement, and said basically he was going through a hard time mentally and took some improper medication during that time. The thing I want to point out here is that if what Paul George says is true, it's not like he's out here doing crack. Now, for first-time offenders like Paul George, the NBA keeps what substance he took private for security reasons, I guess. But most of the rumors online right now are saying that Paul George most likely just took a stimulant without the written approval of the NBA beforehand. But honestly, the funniest thing to me right now is that after Paul George got suspended, their win total on Call Sheet only went down by like one game, if that shows you anything of how valuable he's been to the Sixers. But the part I want to point out here is that the NBA's drug policy seems a little broken. But it just seems really silly to me to have the same exact suspension for a guy who's taking mental health drugs and a guy who's blasting SARMs into his arm twice a week. Now, of course, if Paul was taking tramadol like Bobby Portis did, then that's a totally different situation. But let me know what you think, because I don't think that's a crazy take whatsoever, right?